Thursday, October, whatever it is. Last chance to watch the review videos. And again, if you have questions, make sure you're reaching out, Zooming with me, emailing, anything I can help, I'm here to do. And if you're taking those notes, awesome. If you're watching these videos, great. You're probably right now sitting around a 4 or a 5, which is even better. You're on a great path for what is your quiz tomorrow. So we're going to get right into it with number 1. It says Caden has 3,812 Legos. Carrington has 1,392 more Legos than Caden. How many Legos do they have combined? At this point, I shouldn't be tricking anybody with any of this reading. It ought to be pretty simple to figure out how many each person has, even though we already know Caden's. I'll put CAD for Caden. He's got 3,812. Carrington, I'll put Car. She's got 1,392 more than that. So if I need to find that number, I would take Caden's total. I'm going to add 1,392 to that number, and then I'll have Carrington's total. So in the ones place, 2 plus 2 is 4. Tens place, 9 plus 1 is 10. 0 stays, 1 goes. In the hundreds place, I've got 8 plus 3, which is 11, plus 1 more is 12. 2 stays, 1 goes. And then I've got 3 plus 1 in the thousands place, which gives me 4, plus 1 more gives me 5. So if I'm looking for Carrington's total, it is 5,204 combined Legos, or not combined, I'm sorry, just Legos for Carrington. Now, if I wanted to find the combined Legos, I'm going to take Carrington's 5,204. I'm going to add Caden's 3,812. And once I do that, I will have my answer. In the ones place, you've got 4 plus 2, which is 6. Tens place, 0 plus 1 is 1. Hundreds place, 8 plus 2 is 10, so my 0 stays and my 1 goes. And in the thousands place, 5 plus 3 is 8, plus 1 more is 9, which gives me 9,016, which would be B. As long as you are reading that question, I have zero doubt in my mind that you are getting that one correct. So for number 1, that should have been B. Great job. I'm saying great job. I don't even know if you got it right. It's just me being optimistic. I think you did. All right, where's my mouse? There it is. Number 2, again, just got to read. Math's not hard here. Jamie and 2 friends went out to dinner. They wanted to split the $18 cost evenly, dividing. How much money will each person have to pay? And each is just one more clue for us to divide because all of our answer choices are getting smaller. So I've got an $18 bill at a restaurant. We want to split it up evenly between the people who went out to dinner, which is not just 2 people, it's Jamie and 2 friends, which realistically is 3 people. And then it just comes down to either knowing your facts or doing a little bit of work. If you know your facts, you know 3 times 6 gives you 18. So right there you would realize each person would have to pay $6. If you didn't know, you could draw your 3 people and you could start passing out those $18. Or if you didn't want to do that, you could take your 3, list your multiples until you got to 18. Either way, there's no excuse of not being able to do that one unless you read the question wrong. If you're putting 9, you just took the 18, divided it by 2, and I'm fairly confident that at this point, nobody is doing that. That would be like the easiest way for me to say, okay, so-and-so's not watching the videos. So that one would have been $6. You're doing 18 divided by 3. Math's not hard there. Just got to read. All right, here's where we kind of turn the heat up a little bit with question like number 3. It says the area of my square garden is 16 square feet. What is the perimeter? So again, if you don't have the shape that it's talking about, draw it. It takes you no time at all. There's my square. I know a square's got 4 equal sides. And I also know the area. It told me that the area is 16 square feet. And I know to find that area, I had to do length times width. So I had to do something times something to get 16. And those 2 numbers have got to be the same because it's a square. You've got 4 equal sides. So if you know your facts, you know 4 times 4 is going to get you 16. You also know if you got 4 equal sides, you just figured out every side. You've got 4 on the sides, you've got 4 on the top and the bottom. Now, the last part's the most important. It's asking what is the perimeter. Well, you've got all 4 sides labeled. You could do 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. You could do 4 times 4. Either way, that answer is going to be 16 feet. This is one of those rare cases where the area matches the perimeter. That hasn't happened at all this week, and it won't happen very often, but today it did. So I don't want you to think, oh, this doesn't seem right, the 2 numbers match. Sometimes that will happen. But if you know your facts and you add around, 16 there would be your answer. Still the one that I would expect to be the lowest of the week, but at this point, I'm thinking it should be pretty high. Like on a Thursday, our low should be most of the class, in theory, if we're doing everything we can be doing. All right, number 4, there are 52 weeks in a year. If I read 43 pages a week, how many pages will I have read in 1 year? So if I'm thinking about this and I'm a visual person, or I just kind of think in my brain, 43 pages today or this week, 43 next week, 43, 43, 43, 43, 43, 43. If I'm thinking about adding all those 43s together repeatedly, that repeated addition, I got to think, well, it makes sense for me to multiply there. And then just look at your answer choices. They're all getting much, much bigger. So I would take my 52 weeks. I'm going to multiply it by 43 pages. This is that question where I pirate eye, kind of close my one eye, cover up that 4 in the tens place. That way it kind of looks like I'm just looking at 52 times 3. This is where we should feel fairly comfortable. If I did 3 times 2, that's going to give me 6. If I did 3 times 5, that's going to give me 15. Now, before I multiply by the 4 that's in the tens place, I'm going to come down to that second line, and I'm going to put a 0. Remember, we call that our placeholder. If I'm multiplying by the tens place, the first number I'm putting down here is going to go in the tens place. And I'm multiplying the same order. I go across to the 2. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 5 is 20. Last thing I got to do, just add those numbers together. In the ones place, 6 plus 0 is 6. Tens place, 8 plus 5 is 13. 3 stays, 1 goes. Hundreds place, 1 plus 1 is 2. And if I bring down that 2, it gives me a total of 2,236 pages, which is D. And holy cow, those answer choices look very similar. Make sure your answer matches before you click, guys. I'm telling you, they look like that for a reason. It's going to be easy for me to say, ooh, that person rushed. They didn't make sure it matched, because very, very similar answer choices. All right, last but not least, we are looking at number 5. Again, not super difficult. You just got to read. Put a picture to it. It says John has 2 book bags. So I'm going to read a little and do a little as I read a little, for real this time. John's got 2 book bags. Right there, I'd stop. Bang, 2 book bags. Each book bag has 4 boxes of multiplication cards. Okay? 4 and 4. Now I could stop right there and think, okay, I could do something with those 2 numbers. Each book bag has 4 boxes. So I can do 4 plus 4. I can do 4 times 2. Either way, I've got 8 something. You got to know what that 8 represents. Is that 8 book bags or is that 8 box? What is it? Well, that means I've got 8 boxes of multiplication cards. All right, so let me go ahead and cross these out. And honestly, what I could do is go ahead and draw my 8 boxes. That was not my best drawing. All right, I'm going to keep reading now. It says there are 24 multiplication cards in each box. Interesting. Again, this visual kind of gives me an idea of what I need to do. Even though I see that word each and I see all my answer choices getting bigger, it wants to know how many cards he has total. So yes, guys, you could do 24 plus 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 24. Because you're probably sitting there thinking, well, Mr. Huber, we don't know 24 times 8. Guys, you've done this in a way before. You could take that 24, take that 8, stack them up. We've done that. We've done bigger numbers than that. So I bet you some people said, oh, geez, I don't know 24 times 8. Let me just stack them up and add them. You could do that. I'd rather you not, because when you can do it this way, it's so much faster. So just like we've been doing, it's almost like when I pirate eye that question, that's what I'm looking at. So 8 times 4 gives me 32. 2 stays, 3 goes. Come across here, 8 times 2 is 16, plus 3, 192, boom, D would be my answer. Now, that one I lied. The math's a little bit more challenging on that one. And good. I think when you're just adding and subtracting, I would expect you to get those questions right. Now, not only do you got to read, you got to do a little bit of work on this one. So I'm hoping you're not stacking all those numbers up and adding them. So much easier to make a mistake that way. But if you're reading a little, doing a little, looking at the keywords, it tells you exactly what to do. All right, so this was your last review video. You might want to come back and watch it before your Fan 5 quiz tomorrow. Either way, my biggest pieces of advice for you on the quiz would be to read super, super carefully, draw some pictures, give yourself some visuals, and make sure your answer choice matches what you're clicking on that Google form. Because I promise you, people are going to make mistakes because they think they're choosing the answer that they got on their paper when realistically they're choosing something different. So take your time would be the big piece of information that I can give you. Thank you guys for watching and have a great rest of your day.